Okay, so you're trying to get your front drive shaft off, your front differential. This is a 2011 4010 mule trans. You're trying to get the drive shaft off because my yoke is shot. Like it's rattling like crazy. That was where my rattling sound was coming from. It runs backwards and it runs into this carrier bearing, which as you can see I have beat to heck. The only way to get this thing out, or the way that I figured out how to get it out, because there wasn't a good video on it, was you gotta shift, you gotta get everything loose, you gotta slide it forward so you can get enough tension or enough release to get it off, to get it off the back. So you gotta get the back shaft off. Once you get the back shaft off, well first, you gotta unscrew this carrier bearing and you gotta slide it all the way to the left. You gotta slide it out of its pocket, move it this way, move it to the passenger side so that the shaft has some play in it. And then the back shaft will have enough room to slide off the back shaft right there. Once you get the back shaft off, then you can drop it down. And then you can start working on getting the carrier bearing off of the rear shaft that goes through the carrier bearing and into the rear shaft right there. So I could not figure this out. I couldn't find a video, but that is what I ended up having to do. Shift it forward as far as it'll go. Shift the carrier bearing as far to the passenger side as it'll go. You may have to jack this up. You could take it out, but the fuel tank is right above this. So you could remove this, it would make the whole process easier, but then you gotta remove the fuel tank. So what I did was I just put a little jack under it and pushed it up, slid this way over, got the rear shaft off. There's no cotter pins, there's no set screws in the front, on the differential, or on the back. So once you have enough play, it'll slide off. And then once you get the back shaft off, you can slide the carrier bearing over and then get the front shaft off, and might as well. The carrier bearing has a zerk on top of it, so it doesn't want to come forward. It doesn't want to move left and right. It's a really bad design, but it is what it is. And since I'm under here, we're going to replace it all anyway. So that's it. I hope it helps you, because it sure was frustrating to me.